So I was at my first lesbian wedding in September of 2016 when I get a phone call from my father-in-law. There's been an accident, he says. You see, my husband David and his dad and his brother were on a motorcycling trip on a road called the Tail of the Dragon. Has anyone ever heard of that? It's 11 miles long, and it has 318 turns in it. And in one of these 318 turns, a young doctor driving a Porsche overextended into my husband's lane and hit him. Now, by the time that I had talked to his dad on the phone, they were at a hospital in Tennessee, and miraculously, David had no broken bones, but there was a head injury, and they did not know how bad it was. They were doing some tests. I was in an accident, David says when he's talking to me on the phone. I got hit by a Porsche, and the motorcycle went flying, and the police came, and I don't remember any of it. And he has this kind of cartoon-like sound in his voice that is not like him. And I end up having that conversation with him 3 times in that 1 hour, and each time that he calls me on the phone, he does not remember that he has talked to me. He's told that he cannot drive for 2 months at least, and I see him and I think to myself, you know what? This is okay. I've got this. Because I'm a fixer, you see. That's what I do. I'm a fixer. And just like my grades that I got in school and my job that I was crushing and everything else that I had done into my life, I could handle this. The doctor's prescription was no loud music, no bright lights, no television, no video games. And because he couldn't drive, I had to take him to all of his neurology appointments and his speech therapy appointments because after the accident, he had developed a stutter. And I thought, you know what? This is fine. It's fine. Obviously, I couldn't fix the stutter, but I could take him to every single appointment if it would help him get better. And I would do it with a smile on my face and a spine of steel because that's who I am. But then we went to the neurologist who said, you're now more predisposed to get dementia and at an earlier age. And whenever I heard him say those things about my husband, my spine did not feel steely anymore. And when we got home, I said, you know what, let's just go out. Let's go for a walk. Let's fix this, right? Let's fix this thing. But in our new reality, see, David's brain was really sensitive, and it got overwhelmed by processing things really easily. And we weren't out for a walk for a few minutes before he had to dart back into the house. A few weeks later, we tried to go to my friend's Halloween party, and David made it exactly 10 minutes before he had to leave. And I told him that I would go with him, but he said no. One of us should be able to have fun. I tried to sit with him at home and keep him company, but that didn't work either. Most of the time, he wanted to be left alone. I would try to make small talk, and I would get one-word clipped responses, and his tone became flat, almost like he was a 2-dimensional version of himself. David was in and out of work for the next 3 months. He applied for short-term disability and got denied. And because he makes significantly more money than I do over time, the bills came up and I paid them and we had to deplete our savings account. And then there was no money and those bills kept coming in and I did not know what to do. I couldn't fix that. I couldn't make any money magically appear. And so in an act of desperation, I went to my mom and I'm sobbing and I'm saying, Mom, what do I do? How can I fix this? Because there's no money and David cannot go back to work and there's no savings and there's bills due. And it's like he's a different person. Mom, I feel so alone. What do I do? And in the way that only moms can, my mom put her hand on my cheek. And she said, sweetheart, sometimes there is nothing you can do. Sometimes life is bigger than you are. But you're wrong because you're not alone. And she took my hand, and when she let it go, I was holding a check. I tried to protest, but she shushed me and she said, baby, I love how independent you are. You never ask me for anything. And I'm so proud to be your mom. But honey, when you hurt, I hurt. So please just take this money, and if you need to pay it back later, you can, but I don't need you to. I didn't know what to say, so I just put it in my pocket. She was right, you know. I wasn't alone. I had friends, I had family, I had a church that supported me. I had coworkers, and they all brought us food whenever I was too tired to cook. And they came and took me out on the town whenever I just needed to get away for a little bit. And David's dad paid our bills for a month. David eventually started going to see a counselor, and he started coming out of the house more. And he was able to go back to work. And we fought that short-term disability claim, and we won, and we were able to pay our parents back. And 2 years, almost to the day, from that accident, he got a neuropsych evaluation back that said that he was expected to make a full recovery. In the rural churches of Kentucky where I grew up, there is this saying, never pray for patience, because if you do, God will teach you patience. And it is a long, hard road full of bumps and turns, 318 to be exact. And I do not ride that road alone. Thank you.